Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday morning real estate marketing show with RuthieRocks, Ruth Allbrand, and I am Marketing Max. Ruth, what show number is this?
Okay, I'm going to show you. Here we go.
This is show number 275. And today we have a special young guest that continues to push his mom to do more work in real estate and do the essential things every day that creates more business for her. So before we get into our special guest, Ruth, what is happening in Las Vegas?
So Las Vegas is good things. I'm going to I think I'll hide Braden for just a second. Braden, I'm going to put you back in the lobby while I talk about the stats, okay? Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
There he is. All righty. So what's going on in Vegas? Well, we have 1.7 months of inventory. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
We have 6,792 homes, condos, and townhomes for sale available. And yesterday we closed 128 homes. That is excellent. We put 109 under contract. And here's what really warms my heart. We listed 211 homes.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah, it's been lagging down in the low 100s. So the more homes we list, the more inventory we have. And eventually a lot of those sellers are going to become buyers. So that's what sparks our market. And we're only 9% behind last August, which maybe by the end of August, we might even surpass that. We'll see.
Sure.
It's not the end of the world if we don't. I mean, we're just, from what we've been through, 9% is nothing.
Not only that, like parents are going back to school right now with their kids and adjusting to the whole distance learning and getting all that set up. So, I mean, there might be some distractions this month once it settles down. Maybe September might be even a bit bigger month because of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like last December. It was the best December I can remember as far as closings. And normally it's a slower month. So, I think we're in uncharted territory here in the next 4 months. So it'll be very, very interesting. And I'm excited about it. I know that.
The key point is it's been resilient still, so it's been holding up. And if we can just tread water, like trailing 9%, through a worldwide pandemic that shut down the entire country and the entire world, I mean, come out of this pretty unscathed here if this is the worst of it. So
I agree. Let's bring on our guest today. And his name is Braden. We're going to just keep his last name confidential for now because he's very young. And he's going to come on here. 1, 2, 3. I may have to reposition us. So let's see. Let me see if I can put him in the middle.
Yeah.
Hi. There you are.
Is the audio better?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Anyway, you can put your camera down a little bit so you're a little more centered. And then either move right or left so you're a little bit more centered in the screen, Braden. The other way. Yeah, there you go.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. Glad to have you on. So Ruth, why don't you set up this what you're going to ask him and what he's going to talk about here this morning.
So Braden's going to talk to us about real estate and his future, what he sees for the future. And I found about 8 or 9 questions to ask him that he's not anticipating. So I didn't want it to be all, scripted.
Right.
Because Braden is very, very intuitive. He's very spontaneous, very interesting. And I'm proud that he decided he would come on the show today.
Yeah, welcome aboard, Braden.
Thank you.
So, Max, why don't you know what to ask him? So I'm just going to listen for a minute.
So first, I always ask this on every guest, every show. So were you born here in Las Vegas, Braden, or did you come from?
I was born in Las Vegas.
Born in Las Vegas. So you know nothing more than Las Vegas. Have you been out abroad, across the country, anything, see other states and see other places?
I have. I've been to some other states, and I've been to, I guess, 2 other countries. But
wow.
Yeah, I've been to Canada and Mexico.
Okay. Okay. What place do you like the best? Where would you eventually settle? All the places you've seen.
That I've seen, probably Canada,
Really?
British Columbia. Yeah, it's really
Okay.
nice down there.
Great.
But the weather can get really bad. So, but I probably Vegas because I'm born here and I actually really like it in Vegas.
Yeah, definitely. And we have a really good hockey team. So
Yes.
Are you going to be a
actually,
Raiders fan?
aren't the Canucks playing the Knights in the
Yeah,
playoffs right
They
now?
are.
Yeah,
The
British
Canucks.
Columbia, right?
Yeah, the Canucks swept out. I'm trying to remember what I know it was 4-1 last night. So Canucks and the Knights now.
All right, fantastic.
Are they the final two? Or just
No,
this region?
I think the semifinals. Yeah, so the conference finals.
Yeah. So I think whoever wins this goes to the Stanley Cup
Goes
finals.
to the Stanley Cup. Yeah.
So here we are again.
Wow.
One
that's
step away
exciting.
from the Stanley Cup again. So, all right, Brayden. I mean, Ruth. So is your guest? You know, I
Okay.
mean,
So,
what would you like?
Braden,
What
yeah.
are some of the questions you'd like to ask him?
So one question is, Braden, when you come home, or when your mother comes home from work, what are some of the things that you ask her?
I asked my mom how many cards she's written out in a day, how many calls she's made, because I think a good thing to do is constantly reaching out to people. One thing is like the homemade cards she sends out to people. She's done well with them. She's got really good feedback with the cards, handwritten cards, because people like to, I guess, have a card that's handwritten because it shows that you actually care to write it.
So, why do you think your mom should be doing that? What tells you that needs to be done?
Because with she's got really good feedback from it. Like, for example, this one guy, he reached out to my mom actually and said, that's the first time I've got a handwritten card in years, and people just text me, and said that he'd be calling her back in the future.
Oh, wow. So you actually saw some feedback. Now, does your mom talk to you a lot about her business and what she does and how she does it?
She does. I like my mom's and my dad have always been teaching me about business since I was younger. Even when my mom was in the casino industry, which she is now doing real estate, my mom's always talked to me about it and always teaching me every day something new about real estate. Or same with my dad. Like my dad is a day trader and he teaches me is teaching me a lot about day trading in stocks.
Oh, fantastic. Now, does it annoy you? I mean, coming from a parent myself, oftentimes I try to install some, lessons into my kids and teach them about stuff like that as well. I mean, does it annoy you sometimes or do you enjoy it? What's your feeling about it?
I really enjoy it actually because I want to be the most successful I can, and I know that's what my mom and my dad want for me. I know, everything even if it can be annoying or whatnot, everything they're telling me is just for me in my future and because they want me to be successful.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. You have a great point of view. I mean, do you ever resist though? I mean, you can't, does it come off as nagging sometimes or?
It can sometimes, but I know maybe like a little bit later, I know it's just that they're trying to help me.
Right.
I know
I know I'm trying to put you on the spot here, Brady. I'm just, just because, I'm actually selfishly asking for myself simply because, I want to see how I can, is it a daily thing for your parents to talk to you about business and stuff like that? Or is it just every once in a while? Is it like a formal thing or how do they approach it with you?
It's really, I'd say we're always talking about it, maybe close to every day. Just something if it's with houses, if it's if we want to, if we're me and my mom are always talking about maybe buying a house to flip for money to save money when I go to college because I want to go to a good college, and we're always talking about business opportunities or business itself all the time.
And how did you learn about flipping houses?
I learned about flipping houses from my dad because back in 2015, he lived in Dayton, Ohio, and he started doing a lot of fix and flips. And I would come down in the summer, and I would always be with him because he was on all these different properties, and I found it really interesting. So once I got to a bit of an older age, he actually started teaching me more about it, and um, his approach on buying the property, how much it usually costs, and how much he'd usually be getting in profit, and how much he was even able to sell them for after. So,
And I think you told me, what was that percentage?
I think about 10% he'd get back, because if he'd be picking the properties up from like $50,000 to $80,000, and he'd probably he'd put 10 to 20 grand in them, and I don't exactly remember, but he usually be making about 10% from it. So it was really good, just because of how easily he was able to get the properties for a good price, and he was able to renovate them for really cheap down there.
And he must have gotten some, I don't know why is somebody in your household listening on the phone or something? Went away now. Okay. We have to have good audio because people don't want to just look at our faces. Anyway, so did you learn that time is of the essence when you flip?
Yes. I definitely have. Are you meaning like it takes a long time?
If it takes a long time, your money's tied up a long time, and
Yeah.
that costs money.
Yep, I have, because like once something goes wrong, for example, and something's just another setback, it's just longer until you can sell the property, and like you said, you're losing money.
Yeah, you can't go on to the next one. You can't. You're not making money on your money.
Exactly.
Do you think you might do that to earn your college education, or do? I know you don't have a lot of money in the stock market, but we did talk about that, and that might be a harder way to get your college fund. But I think maybe real estate might be a better way. What do you think?
Yeah, I would like to do that for sure, because I want to first be able to go to a good college and learn about business and finance and get a degree in it. And I also think, real estate would be a great way for my parents to teach me more and more about business. And I would like to do that and maybe invest with my parents.
Which is more interesting to you, the stock side, or like the day trading stock stuff, or the real estate?
I actually find both interesting. I think they're both great ways that you can make money, but the stock market is so much more risky. But I know real estate can be very risky too. For if you buy a property and you didn't get what you expected. Um, the stock market really, like I said, though, can be risky, because like it did, 2 months ago, I want to say it was closed off. It was closed down because of how bad it was going down, and people lost a lot of money from that, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But once it goes down, it's always a great way to reinvest your money and buy in new stocks, which is also a good way, but you just have to ride it. But I think I find probably real estate more interesting than day trading and stocks. But yes, that's just my opinion.
Okay.
Well, I've heard from the people who have made lots of money in real estate that they like it because it's something that you can hold, and that the piece of land isn't going to go out of business. So,
Exactly.
and if you hold it long enough, like Warren Buffett, it appreciates. It just does. And there's so many different stocks to choose from in the market. So I always looked at the stock market like, 1,000 things could go wrong with 1,000 companies, but a piece of real estate is only one thing, and it's tried and true. So I'm not a stock person. I'm a real estate person.
So Brady, tell me this: if you can think, I like the number 3 because it's a form of emphasis and it's a nice number. So tell me 3 lessons that you've learned from your parents, both on the real estate side. This is like a 3-part question for you. First, on the real estate side, 3 lessons that you've taken away from your parents about real estate.
So one, you have to, no matter the people you're working with, you have to just really work with them, because you can always work with somebody that's going to get on your nerves, be really annoying or whatever it is, but you have to deal with it because at the end of the day, it's going to make a bad name for yourself if you are, mouthing them off or doing anything like that. So that's a big thing. Both of my mom and dad have always told me because my dad was a contractor as well, and he's told me, there's so many people we didn't enjoy working for, but at the end of the day, it's not worth ruining your name because, people will look at you bad if you did mouth them off or do something like that or get in a fight with them. So that's one of the big things. I guess second is my dad's always told me is that there's always going to be a good deal, but another good deal is always going to come as well. So because I guess me and my mom have always, we'll see a house and, it'll look really nice. It'll be really nice. It has, uh, maybe a bit of a high price on it or something. And so, like my dad says, is it's there another deal is always going to come. So you just have to be patient. Is really a big thing. But also, if it's the right deal, it's a good time to buy.
Okay. And can you think of one more lesson?
Okay. Yes, I can. You said it has to be about real estate, correct?
Regarding real estate, because I'm going to ask you a follow-up question.
Okay. Um, I want to say too is my dad's always told me hiring the right people to trust because my dad used to, tell me that he'd have issues with workers or people working on the houses because they were really flaky and it'd be another step back to the property. So, you want to trust and have a good team of people that you can rely on so that way you are not constantly getting set back.
Oh, fantastic. So what about three lessons just in general, life related of all sorts that you can think of?
Um, so the first thing would be you can hate somebody inside, or like I said, with people in real estate, if you're working for somebody, but you can hate people and you can dislike them, but you have to be nice to them no matter what, because it's the right thing to do. Um, and I guess the second thing would be is that my parents have told me is that school is really important to learn and be in school because you need to get a good education. My parents are um, really big on education. When I was younger, I didn't appreciate that as much, but now that I'm, really have to be going to a private school and, learning so much, being able to be in honors classes, I, I just like it because I know it's setting me up so I can be able to go to a good college and get a good degree.
Fantastic. What about what about anything regarding work? Like you don't have to do three, but what's their philosophy on working?
Um, my dad's really told me that you want to try. Well, my dad's never worked for anybody. He's always worked for himself, and he's told me that you want to try to find a good job that you don't have to work for somebody. And obviously that's him. And I think if when you're starting off your life, you obviously have to get some jobs, but uh, I can agree with him because I think when you're doing your own thing or you have your own business, I think you're setting yourself up for success.
Absolutely. You get to control everything.
Exactly, and
But
that's really why he tells me it is because you like you said you have so much more control over everything than really just working like in an office job. Nine to five. That's really just not what my both of my parents want for me. They really want me to be working a good job. They
fantastic.
are really wanting me to be an entrepreneur.
Right. How do you feel about what's happening in the country right now as far as like the COVID thing? How's that affected you and your family? And, how's that kind of.
Really, it has affected us, and it's affected my mom really bad, really really bad because she is in the casino industry and nobody's coming because the casinos were closed down, but still people just don't want to come, just don't want to risk it. And so, I mean, my mom's had like 2 customers come in the past, couple months, even since the casino's open, and just that business is just going so slow for her that, she's losing out on a lot of money on that, which is, very unfortunate. And that's the biggest thing, is that she can't get customers to come in. Really, though, we are still living our normal life. I'm going to school, but now I'm doing a hybrid option at school where I go 3 days, stay home 2 days. And I'm still playing sports. Football may be getting canceled for the season, though, unfortunately. But it has affected my mom bad. But I think real estate's going to be great for my mom. I think it is great for my mom because the real estate market has been doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
How
people
about
always
you?
need a place to live.
Well, yeah, for sure. How about you personally, as far as like, your interaction with your friends and, not being able to maybe go see them as often? I mean, are you blessed? Or,
Yeah, bless you.
Thank you.
It has the first. I think all the parents they were really just didn't know what was going on. Like everybody, nobody really knew what this was. It was all new. It started coming. The numbers were going up and up and up. So at first, I wasn't really able to hang out with most of my friends, but now I've been hanging out with a majority of them. A couple of them, their parents really just don't want to risk anything, and they're doing online school. But I totally understand that because it's so hard what this whole country is going through, and all the countries really, because this is just will there be a vaccine? What will stop this? Is this just going to happen? Is this going to be the new world, wearing masks, having to go to school and wear a mask all day? I mean, I tell you, like, I never understood some of like the things I should have appreciated back then, because I've never thought of how we have to live now, on how we can't do things we like to do because everything's socially distanced and 6 feet, and we got to wear masks now. I mean, all the little things you really just want to appreciate more now.
no doubt, no doubt. If anything, we go through this time and we get to look back and go, man, we had a lot of freedoms and a lot of things that we love that could be taken away from us, and that's why we're going to enjoy every moment. Any follow-up questions from you, Ruth? For Braden?
Well, I just wanted to know if you could get a job right now, or I take that back. If you could set up a business right now, because you have that entrepreneurial spirit, what would you do? I mean, when I was a kid, I was selling lemonade. I've always had that desire to be in control and do my own thing. And I had a checking account when I was your age, and I learned those things at a very young age, like you're learning stock trading and real estate. But if you could pick a business that you could start at your age, what would it be, with all the things that are going on in the internet, that you could possibly get into? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, I have. I've actually talked to both of my parents about it as well.
All right.
I'd love to be in real estate if I could at this age. And I resell like sports cards and old stuff like that. Like that's, I guess, like my little business that I've done, and it's actually been quite well. I've had almost over $1,000 in revenue, and I've gotten about like $300 in profit. So it's been good. I mean, it's awesome to like learn it. It just, it's obviously that's not what I want to like do for the rest of my life, is resell my sports cards. But I think right now it's a good way to kind of learn and just, I guess, take a little bit of a learning step to business.
So have you heard of Gary Vaynerchuk?
I have not.
So you might want to look him up on YouTube. Gary Vaynerchuk.
Ask your parents first, because he has a really rampant mouth. So.
Oh, you know what? I think my dad actually watches him, because I think I've heard a guy on my dad's computer who's cussing every other sentence like that.
Yeah, but he's really into sports cards. And when he was your age, he would go to the malls and he would be trading sports cards and making $3,000 a month. That was net. And he's now 43. So that was, 30 years ago he was doing it, and he's still doing it. I mean, he's selling cards now, Braden, he'll pay $100,000 for a card and sell it for 150,000. I mean, he's up in those numbers because he's been doing it so long. So kudos to you for picking that particular avenue, and you should probably stick with it because it looks like it's going to continue to be a valuable commodity.
Oh yeah, even memorabilia. I have a lot of memorabilia and sports cards, helmets that are autographed, shoes, baseballs, all of it. If they can, really one thing though is you have to be patient with them because you can't go and buy it and then sell it the next day. That's where I've been. It's took me months until I've actually been able to sell it and say, hey, it's really been up. Like I was, this one card I bought for like $20, and then I waited 2 months and it was $150. So I sold it for, I think, $153. So, but you really have to wait. You have to be patient when you're doing this and that's really with a lot of things. You have to be patient.
Yep.
So I would advise you at your age to keep a journal. Do you keep a journal?
I don't, but I think that'd be an awesome idea.
And you can buy bound journals. Let's see if I have one here. This is a bound journal, right? And so when you wake up in the morning and you think of something, you put it in your journal. When you learn something from someone, you put it in the journal. When you see why people have failed, you put that experience and perhaps what you learned from that in the journal. And you learn from OPE. You know what OPE is? Other people's experiences, like
Right.
your mother's and your father's.
People
And
have paid the price for you already, so you don't have to pay the price through other
right.
people's experience.
And you should have a bookshelf, and you're 12 years old. And so by the time you're 20, you should have 8 of these journals. Keep one, per year. And you will be amazed at what this will do for you. And I learned that from Jim Rohn, who is a
I was
great,
just going to say that.
yeah, he's a great
Yeah,
teacher.
the first person, before you get to Gary V here, Braden, I would highly recommend you, Jim Rohn, ROHN, not Jim Rome, the sportscaster guy, not the
Yeah.
guy that says everything with 4 syllables, but Jim Rohn, the greatest year of your life. If you YouTube that, if your parents are allowed to go to YouTube, Jim Rohn, the greatest year of your life. Everything that you're learning from your parents right now and the philosophies that you're embodying, through our conversation today is what he teaches in a simplistic form. That what I love about him, he speaks so simply that anybody can understand, but it's very powerful, and it'll help you build a kind of foundation that will supplement the stuff that your parents are teaching you. And I encourage you, I mean, don't stop learning, right? I mean, that's the key to success in life and for people to get ahead is always, those people are always learning. That's why, CEOs read 50 to 60 books a year. I mean, what's great about America is you need 2 things. You need knowledge, right, from education, but you also have to back it up with action and work ethic, right? You combine those 2 things, I can tell you that, like,
actions speak louder than words.
Exactly right. I mean, those 2 things, you can't have just one. If I had to choose between the 2, I would choose work harder. Like, because the people who have the highest education that don't work hard don't get anywhere, right? But people who work hard and don't have that great of education, I can tell you, usually are more successful. Yes, Ruth.
So every morning, I run 2 to 3 miles. So this morning I listened to Jim Rohn and I took notes. I carry a little pouch, so I take notes. And today he said, learn from your personal experiences, learn from other people's experiences, learn from failures, and read a book a week. And out of that book, find something of value and put it in your journal.
Yeah.
That's Jim Rohn. And he says, people don't get paid for time. They get paid for value.
Yes.
So, somebody makes $12 an hour, right? Your mother and I don't get paid for the time we put in. We get paid for the value that we give to people. And I think that's a great lesson. I think the highest paid person in the United States makes $80 million a year, and he runs Coca-Cola. but he makes 80 million a year. That's his salary. So he's not getting paid for time. He's getting paid for value. And the beautiful thing about America is that it's like a ladder, and you're here, and you can keep going up that ladder by giving more and more value, in your life, and that's a big lesson that I learned from Jim Rohn, and many other. But pick someone to listen to,
Right.
like him, because he really explains things. I always say, explain it to me like I'm 6 years old. And so he breaks desire down into what it really is. He breaks ambition down into what it really is. So all these things, Jim Rohn, you as a young person could really learn. And I know that you would employ many of the valuable lessons that you will learn from him.
And Ruth, can you type this in to display on the screen? It's Jim Rohn. I haven't read any of his books. I'm sure he's written a couple, or someone's transcribed some of the stuff, but I just watch his YouTube channel. If you just search on YouTube, Jim Rohn, and this is for Teresa here who asked a question, the greatest year of your life, right? YouTube, Jim Rohn, greatest year of your life. And he does like a 4-part, like almost 6-hour series on the philosophies on how to get ahead in life that are just incredibly amazing. And here's another thing, if I can instill some experience onto you here too, Brady, is I listen to things over and over again for years, right? Because I've listened to Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins. I mean, some of this stuff like up to 100+ times. And every time I listen to it, I get like one piece that I like missed the prior time of listening. So don't be afraid when something is good and it works, right? Another thing is like, if you find something that works, do more of it, right? And keep doing it. You're way, I can tell you right now, you're way ahead of 90% of just individuals in business already, because you understand the difference between revenue and profit, right? That's a big difference that at your age that you already know, it puts yourself way ahead of everybody.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Do you read books, or do you do audibles?
I can read books, but I definitely prefer to do an audible. I take in things a lot better if I listen to them other than reading them, because when I read them, I have to read a book like 2 times to actually get the information.
So here's one I highly recommend: Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So you probably get Audible on Amazon. And then this is just a small little book, but it's called The Richest Man in Babylon. And I think this will just validate what you already have in your mind. Sometimes we have these ideas, but then we read something and it validates that idea, and then it becomes part of our normal business activity. So this is a great book. But Think and Grow Rich, when you ask even Jim Rohn, in fact, he said that today. He said the 2 books he would recommend for anybody that's an entrepreneur is this one and this one. Oops. Yeah. So I recommend those to you. And Teresa wanted to know, is that a book? It's not a book. It's a YouTube. So Teresa, go to his YouTube channel. Just search for Jim Rohn. And what was the name of the episode?
Greatest Year of Your Life.
The Greatest Year of Your Life.
Yeah.
And Teresa, I know you're poised to do that. So I think you should listen to that today. Right. Teresa's on fire in real estate. And I just want to reach out here for a minute. Lupe, thank you for joining us today. It's yes, he is a great kid. And Karen had a birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday, Karen.
Morning, Karen. So I have a question for you. What do you think your life is going to be like in the future?
That's actually a good question. In the future, I'm actually concerned. And the reason why is everything that's going on with the world. I think, these protests, COVID, that whole thing that happened with all the Black Lives Matter stuff. I don't see what I think it's really going to be who's going to be in office. I think if Trump, I think as long as Trump's in the office as of right now, I mean, I think he's a great president, and I think he's doing good for business and economy. While I think some of the Democratic Party has a different outlook on what they want to do. So that's just my opinion on it.
Well, we're all entitled to that, that's for sure.
But for you personally, Braden, I mean, I can tell you, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it makes a big difference who's become president. But one thing that America is so great is founded upon is the individual effort of each human being, right? And so
I 100% agree on that.
Right. I mean, we gotta, regardless of, who becomes, president, we got to find a way to work around the rules that are in place to become successful. I mean, that's just it, right? Because no one's going to, when you listen to Gary Vee, if you're a little older and your parents understand you, like at the end of the day, like no one cares about your excuses, right? Why you weren't successful, this didn't happen for you. Like at the end of the day, like no one cares about that. People only care about the people who actually make it in spite of all the obstacles that are placed in front of them. Right. And I'm sharing with this because I'm an immigrant to this country. And, I'm like you, I'm a little bit bewildered about the victimization of that, that's being even elevated in our country right now, for sure.
Yeah.
So, but you're absolutely right track. So, I mean, I think tell me if I'm wrong here, Ruth, but the heart of Ruth's question is, where do you see yourself, right? What you want to do. Obviously it sounds like you're on the road to college, right? Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And studying business. I mean, is that pretty set in stone? You're looking business and economics. Okay. And then when you see that, what do you think, I think the reason why Ruth asked this as well is like, you always want to be planning the next 5 to 10 years of your life at all times, right? You never want to get to that 5th year and ask yourself, what am I going to do next year? I can tell you that will hold you back. There are people planning the next 2 decades already. And that's the reason why they're successful, right? Because they sit down with pen and paper or with their tablet now, with computers, planning out and strategizing, looking at what's happening around the world, right? We cannot change the outside world. We can only change ourselves. And so we got to accept the things that are happening and then strategically plan our moves. And so our question is the seed that Ruth wants to plan to use. What's your move in the next 5 to 10 years? You don't have to, there's no wrong answer here. And this will change over time, obviously. But we want to plant the seed.
Really, in the next 10 years, I want to obviously graduate high school. I want to go to college. I want to go 4 years at college for business and finance, if I can, and I would like to, right out of college, start getting in some investments. So my first couple, maybe with my family, or maybe in a couple of years, even I will be able to do that, and I'll have money to do my own investments in properties and stuff when I'm right out of college. Because I really one of my big things is I don't want to go out of college and go work a 9-to-5 job. I'm not. That's not where I see myself going at all.
That was always me too, Braden. I had one job at a bank for a short period of time. I guess when I was in high school, I did dip ice cream cones for Howard Johnson on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, but that was because my mother charged me rent of $25 a month. And I had to have a steady income to pay rent to live in the house. And that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
Nothing was free. Nothing was free. And anyway, so when you talk, I just really encourage you to keep up doing some type of business in the next 5 to 10 years.
You don't have to wait.
Yeah, you don't have to wait.
I totally want to. I definitely think there's so much more that I need to learn, that I want to learn, and I want to obviously take your guys' advice and reading some of these books and taking notes on them for sure, because I like I said, I really want to be doing business like that and investing in like the next 5 to 10 years.
And one of the things that I talked to your mother about yesterday, and you have a great role model in your mother and your father.
Your father.
I don't know your father, but I do know your mother. And like her next step in the real estate business, which she hasn't been in that long, but she's doing extremely well, is time management. Set aside, make sure that every day, like I know that she works out, and then she's going to take some time to do, you know, the harvesting, as we call it in real estate, with the cards and the texting and the keeping in touch with people. And then that's the working part. And then all of a sudden you get a client, and now you have to fit that into your schedule without disrupting the time that you've set aside to do the consistent things that will keep business coming in. So it's a lot of that is morning work, you know, doing things in the morning before you go out into the world, or make your do personal things. So, and I hear her talking about that.
Keep encouraging your mom and pushing her, Braden.
Oh, I do.
Reminder of the fundamentals of what, you know, makes real estate agents successful, right? Contact and reaching out to people, making a difference, right? And being an expert. So, you know,
exactly.
Yeah, you get the chance to do the same thing to her now.
Exactly. And I think what's really cool too with my mom is that she's offering a service as a real estate concierge agent, as she's offering a cool service that she's, you know, turning on people's utilities, hiring the movers, helping with those things that are, you know, annoying for people, I'd say.
Absolutely.
Moving. So I think it's awesome because, you know, not a lot of people are doing that, and you know, my mom came up with that completely on her own, and, you know, so I'm so happy for her that she did that, and I think it's so cool that she found that idea, because, you know, I think it's an awesome idea, even though it, you know, can be out of the way. I think really serving your clients the best you can is, you know, the best thing you can do.
Oh, absolutely. That's a great idea, because I remember moving. I've moved like 10 times the last 20 years. And every time you move, you got to call the utility companies, you got to call the gas company and all the trash. So, you know, having that, you know, potentially all done for you, that's pretty cool.
And now, Braden, during this pandemic, and we don't, it's going to linger even after they do find the cure, is offering a service to sanitize the houses. That's something she can.
I think that'd be an awesome idea. And honestly, the thing that's cool about my mom, that's nice about my mom, I guess I should say, is she's been in the service industry for 20 plus years, you know, right out of college. So she really knows how to, she's a people pleaser. She knows how to make her clients and customers happy. And my mom always goes out of her way to do the most she can and do the extras that she can, because, you know, she cares about every client that she has, and she puts her hardest work into all of them. And no matter if it's real estate or casino, she's always trying her best and always trying to do as much as she can for the clients, because, you know, every client matters to her. And, you know, I think it's an awesome idea, especially what she's doing. And I think that'd be an awesome idea as well.
No, fantastic. That's good. We lost you for a second there, but Ruth, any last questions for Braden? He's been a trooper here, sitting 36 minutes with us.
I know. I knew he would be good.
Right.
I knew he would be great. A great guest on our show. I just want to offer this to you, and I don't know if you can do this or not, but, you know, your mother's going to go to our Buffini class, and it's 8 weeks. It's 2 hours a week, and before we have the class, there's a video, an hour video that Brian Buffini does, and you have the opportunity to watch it before the class. Now, you are welcome to come to the class on me if you can, but if you can't, you certainly are welcome to watch those videos, because I think that it will help you, it will help your mother, and the future for both of you. Go ahead.
I will definitely be doing that, because I think it's an awesome thing to just keep learning, and I want to do that. So I'll definitely talk to my mom about it. And thank you.
So Braden, what Brian Buffini has done, he has been doing this for 20 years. He's the most successful coach in the world in real estate. And what he has done, he's broken it down into steps. And so that's what you will learn. He also teaches how to manage your time. He teaches, how you do 10-day goals, 6-month goals, and yearly goals, and then 5-year goals. So all of these things I know are going to help you at your age and your wisdom already make yourself a better future. And I know your mother's just going to love the class and do everything that Brian says. If you do the Brian Buffini class and then you do what he says, he has a stat that says you will take your income and you will soar it up to $350,000 a year. That it has happened. People walk in and start becoming Buffiniites, we call them, and before long, that average $40,000 a year real estate job becomes $350,000.
Yeah, so, I think that's awesome.
It's a roadmap. I mean, why not take it?
So
you know where you're headed.
I have a final question for you here from a marketing standpoint. So I'm just curious, with how you're consuming. Your parents allow you to consume some online content, music, videos, other stuff. Like what if you could describe kind of the elements that like captures your attention and that keeps you engaged in the content that you're seeing? What do you think? What are the things that you're watching, and what do you think keeps you engaged with that piece of content?
What keeps me engaged with the content is that I have humor, so I like to watch something that's funny, because it's constantly catching my attention. So I think that's one of the big things. I think having a good introduction to it is also a great way to catch somebody. Like that's me, is if I see a good introduction on it, I'm gonna watch it. I mean, that's really me as on a viewer's point of view.
How important is sound and music to you, incorporated in the videos and the content?
I couldn't hear you. You cut out.
Sorry. How important is like music or sound, right? That's interlaced into the videos. Is that added a benefit or something that keeps you engaged or keep watching?
I think so. I think having a good sound is an important thing, so viewers can hear you. And I think as long as it's the right time in videos, I'm seeing music it definitely catches my attention, but it definitely has to be the right time.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Cool. Do you like short videos or longer videos? Like,
really just a mix, 10 to 20 minute videos.
Okay. No, interesting. We always like to ask that, especially from your point of view, because you're going to be the generation that's going to lead us into the future here. And from a marketer standpoint, I'm always interested in what really captures. And what apps are you looking at these days or messing around with?
YouTube, Snapchat, and I'd say Instagram and TikTok.
Okay, cool.
So I think a lot of these new apps, there's a lot of people going on them. Facebook's also really good too, but I just don't use Facebook personally.
Okay.
Even Twitter's good. I don't use Twitter as much, but it's another big one. But Instagram's really big. TikTok's really big. YouTube,
Why do you think TikTok's so big? What about TikTok that that you like?
I think TikTok's really big because so back a long time ago there was this app called Musical.ly, like a lip syncing app. So that's a lot of people use it, and a lot of people just watch the videos. A lot of people just like to watch the videos, not even making the videos. That'd be myself. Now on TikTok, a lot of people, they're posting videos about different things. Like, for example, me and my friend, we have a channel about computers because I build computers personally.
Okay.
So, we have a channel about that. We talk about computers. People talk about sports. They talk about motocross. They talk about art. They talk about music. There's all different categories. There's memes on there. It's really what your interest is, but there's so much things that people talk about, movies, whatever it is. So I think that it catches a lot of people's attention because when the odd video pops up there are people that are like marketing their businesses, it's like, oh, that's cool. I guess because there's a lot of people, even I've seen so many people that are probably in their 30s to 40s actually on the app now too. It's insane.
Right. It's maturing. Well,
Yes.
it really starts maturing when 50 and 60-year-olds get on the platform.
Oh, I know.
All right. No, appreciate it. Thank you for coming on, Braden.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Continue down this path that you're on, and I can no doubt tell you're going to be very successful here, as long as you back it up with extreme work ethic to follow all the knowledge that you're gaining. So don't be afraid of hard work. This is my biggest advice to you. And remember that the most valuable asset you're going to have is time, actually.
Yeah.
You can make money, but you can't make time. So, enjoy your childhood, obviously. But also make sure you sit down sometime and plan out the next 5 to 10 years of your life every year. And you do that, I can tell you right now, like you're going to be wildly successful beyond your wildest dreams by taking those steps. So, Ruth, any last words for Braden before you let go, and then we can wrap up.
Okay. I just want to say to Braden that how good are you at YouTube?
Oh, about like posting YouTube videos?
No, about marketing it.
I'm okay. I mean, I don't know too much about YouTube. I know more about like Instagram and TikTok, but I mean, I see like if I'm interested in something, I'm gonna look up a video on it, like maybe a PC part or something I'm doing that I want to get or something like that. I think YouTube's awesome for marketing though, because so many people make videos on the stuff, even online websites, whatever it is. There's so many videos on everything. It's awesome.
Okay, that was my question. And let's see, I'm going to talk about class on Monday. We have a class on Monday in our classroom. You can come, we can hold about 30 people, or you can Zoom in, and it's a class on agency. And it's a core class. And do you work for your client is the topic, and then prove it. And Jimmy Dague and I teach it, and we have a lot of fun. And then on Wednesday, we're having a law class. Not knowing is not an excuse. So these are classes that whether you need the CEs or not, you will learn something to help you in your career. So I always encourage everybody to come to the classes, and you go to bee.vegas to sign up, and you'll see all the classes that we have, not just on continuing education, but social media. And then Brian Buffini starts in September. So our calendar is filled between now and December. So if you're in my Facebook group, RuthieRocks, I posted this yesterday. This is all the CE courses, and you can see that we try very hard not to duplicate any of them, so that if you just want to learn, not just get credits, you have quite a compendium here to choose from. And I hope to see everybody on Monday at the class. We had a full house yesterday. I think we had 73 people attending, and 30 in the classroom. So that was really awesome. And people, it's amazing. People want to see each other. So more and more people are coming. You just have to wear a mask. But anyway,
all right.
Our classroom is great. And Braden, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you again.
Of course. And I really appreciate you guys having me on the show. And thank you, Ruth, for offering that class. I really appreciate it. And I really enjoy also coming to your office and even getting to learn the little bit of information I see every time. I think it's awesome what you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Believe me. And Max, I guess this is another
Wrap up.
show.
275 in the books. Have a
In the
great week,
books.
everybody. Go out
We
there and
love you
do the
all.
things
Spread the love.
consistently every
Spread the
day.
love.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. That was good.
We are still live, Ruth.
We are. That was good. Yes.